She looks like a gorilla. She too ugly.
Some people are not rejected because they are bad. They are rejected because they are different. This is the story of a woman the world mocked, a woman they called names, a woman many thought would never find love. But destiny had another plan. This is Sandra's story. Sandra was born into a world that judged people before trying to understand them. From the very beginning of her life, faith dealt her a card that the world found difficult to accept. Even as a child, before she understood the meaning of beauty or ugliness, she could feel that something about her made people uncomfortable. When she became old enough to look into a mirror, the truth became clear. Her face was rough, her features were strong, bold, and unusual. Her nose was wide, her jaw firm, her eyes deep-set and intense. It was not the soft, delicate beauty her small community celebrated. It was different, and in that difference, people found permission to be cruel. Children whispered behind her back. Some laughed openly. Others stared for too long as if trying to figure out what kind of creature she was. By the time Sandra turned 10, she had already learnt the pain of being seen but not accepted. "Mama, why do they laugh at me?" she once asked her mother, tears filling her eyes. Her mother pulled her close and sighed deeply. "People fear what they don't understand," she said. "One day they will understand you." But that day felt very far away. As Sandra grew older, the whispers became louder. By the time she became a young woman, the name had already followed her everywhere like a shadow. Gorilla face. That was what people called her when they thought she couldn't hear. Sometimes they said it boldly right in front of her. Other times it came as cruel laughter from behind. Market women laughed when she passed. Young men mocked her when she walked by. Even women shook their heads in pity, or worse, disgust. Sandra learned to walk fast. She learned to keep her eyes low. She learned silence. Because of this, she avoided going out. She stayed indoors, kept to herself, and lived quietly. She believed that the world outside had no space for someone like her. But Sandra had another thing, something impossible to ignore. Her body was naturally blessed. Full hips, a well-shaped waist, graceful movement. Wherever she passed, heads turned. Men noticed her figure immediately, but once she lifted her face, many of them changed. Some laughed nervously. Some looked away in disappointment. Some shook their heads as if betrayed. Those moments hurt her more than open insults, because hope is more painful than rejection. At night, when everywhere was quiet and the world finally stopped judging her, Sandra would sit alone in her small room. She talked to God like he was the only friend she had. "Why did you make me like this?" she whispered. "Why give me beauty in one place and pain in another? Why let people see my body before they see my heart?" Sometimes she cried until sleep took her. Other times she lay awake staring into darkness. Yet deep inside her, buried under years of pain, was a strength she didn't know she had. One morning, Sandra woke up feeling different. She had spent days locked indoors, listening to life happen outside. People laughing, children running, couples talking, friends enjoying freedom. Something inside her snapped. She stood up, walked to the mirror, and looked at herself properly for a long while. Not with hatred, not with shame, but with honesty. She studied her face, then her body. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then a small smile escaped her lips. "At least God did not forget me completely," she whispered. "He endowed me with something beautiful, and for that, I am grateful." That day, Sandra made a decision. She would no longer punish herself for the cruelty of others. She dressed carefully, choosing clothes that made her feel confident and comfortable. She tied her hair neatly, cleaned her shoes, took her phone, took a deep breath, and stepped outside. Her heart raced with every step. She expected laughter, she expected insults, she expected pain. Instead, she heard voices. "Hey, madame, Fine girl. They heard them clearly, but she didn't turn back. She assumed they were mocking her. Then one man followed her. Sister, please wait, he said calmly. She ignored him. Pretty girl, he added. That word stopped her in her tracks. Pretty. She turned slowly. He didn't laugh, he didn't mock her. He simply smiled. I know what you want, Sandra said bitterly. You want to get a taste of my body. Chima laughed, not mockingly, but warmly. My name is Chima. I don't know about others, but to me, you are beautiful, and I would like to prove my love to you if you allow me. For the first time in her life, Sandra felt seen. Chima was different. He walked with Sandra openly. He held her hand in public. He answered her calls in front of people. He introduced her to his friends without shame. People stared. People whispered, but Chima did not care. At first, Sandra waited for the embarrassment, the jokes, the sudden change of heart, but it never came. One evening, she finally asked, "Why me?" Chima smiled. Because beauty is not only what the eyes like, it is what the heart understands. Sandra cried that night, not tears of pain, but tears of healing. Months later, Chima spoke words that brought fear rushing back. I want to take you to my parents. Her heart dropped. Are you sure? She asked. Yes. When they arrived, the atmosphere changed instantly. Silence, then anger. Chima, shouted his mother, do you want to marry a gorilla? Sandra felt the world collapse. She turned to leave, but Chima stood firm. Enough, he said. This woman is my choice. If you reject her, you reject me. For the first time, Sandra was not alone. Sandra stayed calm. She cooked, she helped, she respected them. Days turned to weeks. Slowly, hearts softened. One night, Chima's mother cried. She is not ugly inside, she admitted. She is rare. Their wedding shocked the entire community. Those who mocked her now watched in silence. Those who laughed now whispered admiration. Sandra walked proudly, head held high. She was no longer gorilla face. She was a wife, a woman, a queen. And as she stood beside Chima, she finally understood. The world did not define her. Love did.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.